Hi, everyone. Oh, have I ever said hi, everyone, without having Teddy Bear barking? I swear he's talking to you guys. Hi, it's Rita and Teddy Bear and Benji from Miss Rita to the Rescue here today for Cricut Chat. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. Good morning, Christy. So I'm feeling great, and I am kind of excited. I was really excited to get on this morning to show you this card. And I wonder if you noticed here, I used that holographic. It came in one of the boxes. I think it was last week. It's holographic Art Deco vinyl, and it has this really cool. Let me show you this part. So it has this really cool, like, holographic kind of bubbles, or not quite bubbles, but like concentric circles and stuff. And so I used it in this card. Can you see it? And then I started thinking about all those great products. If you got that came in all of the 3 mystery boxes this month, and I know 3's a lot, so I don't know if you got 1, 2, or 3, but I'm going to be featuring some products that were in there so you can understand when you get, if you got the first one, second one, a third one, you can understand what you got, and learn how to use it. Here is this party foil, and a lot of people ask me about party foil because it's a little bit difficult to think of ideas, but I have a bunch of ideas, including bows and making confetti for the inside of your cards, or for let me show you this. Isn't that cool? So for the inside of your cards, or for on a table at a party, or just to have around like on a holiday table, it's really cute. So confetti, bows, and different kinds of bows, but I've done these star bows that are really glamorous and really, really good. And the great thing about this is that it comes in 2 lengths of 48 inches. I want to show you. This is a brand new roll. This one I got from the Elegance mystery box, right? So when you open it up, and there's a little piece of tape here. When you open it up, it has actually 2 sheets. It has like a chrome sheet, and it has like this holographic sheet. Now, this stuff is not sticky like vinyl. Vinyl has an adhesive back, right? Remember, you just kind of peel it, which I can't do right this second. But you peel it. Christmas bows, yep. And I'm going to show you how to make Christmas bows with this stuff. Not today, but maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow would be a good day for it. Yeah, so anyway, so this is adhesive back, right? Because it says it right there. Well, it doesn't say it's adhesive back, but we know it's vinyl because of the back. But this stuff is not adhesive, and it's really slippery. And look at how long. Okay, so I'm getting some feedback about cutting with party foil, and I'm glad to get that feedback. So, okay, see, this is how long it is, and it's really slippery to work with, okay? You have to have a big space to work with it, and I always use either my personal trimmer, which we're going to use this morning to cut it, or I use my True Control knife with my self-healing mat, and I work on a very big space. I'm going to try to go up a little higher so you can see, but I work on a very big space so that I can have it open, because it will, like, left to its own devices, slip off your table or roll up and stuff like that. And so Michelle Harris is saying, party foil doesn't like me. Oh, it doesn't like you. Oh, okay. You know what? Party foil is a little hard to work with. I will admit that, especially in the machines. The best advice for working with party foil in a machine is a really sticky mat. That's what I found. It doesn't lift, it cuts all the way through, and but the mat has to be really sticky and kind of brand new. And unfortunately, I have not got my Cricut Joy mats updated, so they're sticky, but they're not really sticky. So what I'm going to do for this project is I'm just going to hand cut it. And it's very easy. I only need a little square of it. So I'm going to show you how to hand cut it. But so this is a project from Rob and Bob. I never have us in yet. Not sure what that means, Vicki. Okay, so this is the project from Rob and Bob, and it's found in Cricut Design Space. It's free if you are a Cricut Access customer. But what I've done here is I have made it smaller, and hi Bren, I have made it smaller, and so it's capable of cutting on the Joy, which is what I did. And it's really actually it's a very easy card. I don't know if I can show you this, but here is this. This is the vinyl layer. We're going to do party foil, but I did use vinyl on that. And then there's a pink layer. And then there's the white layer, has a lot of writing on it. And it's really, really cute. You do have to make some modifications in the file. So first, let me show you where to find it, okay? Excuse me. Okay, so it's called the Forever card. And I know it's kind of a Valentine's-y card, but you know, sometimes you just have to tell somebody you love them a real lot. And so I thought this would be a perfect card to show you how I modify the cards, okay? Oh, you haven't used the party foil. Okay. Yeah, and it comes in so many great colors. Like the teal is beautiful. And then of course you got orange and black and red and green and everything. So I think the best use for them is the bows because they're really fancy and shiny and they look really good on a present. But you can also use them, is what I want to show you, is you can also use them in things like cards, okay? So let me just show you where I found this card. And I am logged in with my maker, so you should know that, okay? Logged in with my maker, so it's easier to find images, although I am going to cut on the Joy, and I'll show you how I switch over. So I go to images, and this is the image search engine on the iPad. It looks slightly different than the one on Design Space. Oh no! Oh my gosh, they're drilling today. I don't know why. And of course, Teddy Bear's barking. Hold on, let me close the door. Sorry. There's so much noise here. I'm thinking about moving to a different space so that I don't have so many distractions. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. So, okay, so we're going to the image search engine, and we're going to go to image sets here. It does look a little bit different than the format that you're used to if you work on the desktop, okay? But under search image sets, just type in the word or the name Rob. Now, we've done a couple of projects from these guys, Rob and Bob Studios. Recently, actually, we did this hello card, and we did... I'm trying to remember another one that we did. But what I want you to do is go to this group, the best of Rob and Bob. See how it has an A on it? That means it's available to you as an Access subscriber, which is great. All of these things can be used as long as you're an Access subscriber, okay? And, oh yeah, we did this one, remember? We did that one. And this one here has everything, all the different holidays, and a bunch of different things to put in a card or whatever. So scroll down and you'll find it here. There it is. And you're just going to click on it and insert it. Okay. Now you notice it comes in small. I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. All right, it comes in small. Okay. All right, it doesn't bother you? All right. I'm just thinking, you know, with between like the mailman and the garbage guys and the dogs and stuff. Okay, so here is the card. Now you notice it has scoring and it's big. So first of all, we have to make sure it's sized for the Joy. The Joy can do a perfect A2 card, but it can't do scoring. And so you have to actually sort of see, this is the outside part. So what you have to do is resize this. But how do you do it if there's a score mark there, right? How do you do that? So first I'm going to resize the entire file based on the parameters I know for A2 cards, which an A2 card is always 4 1/4, 5 1/2. However, the folded part is 8 1/2, 5 1/2. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to make the width down here where it says width. I want to make the width 8 1/2. But you will notice that because my proportions are locked, that it doesn't quite make it 5 1/2. It makes it actually almost 6 inches. And that is going to be a slight problem for us. And one that we can correct simply by unlocking, use this little lock and unlock it. And now we can change the parameters of our image, just one parameter. So we want to change the height to 5.5. See that? It doesn't, I mean, I wouldn't recommend unlocking the parameters if it's going to be for a big amount, like if you wanted to change this to 20, you know, because it will cause distortion of the image, and you don't want that. But a small change like that is perfectly doable. And now we have a perfectly sized. My dog, she's searching the whole house for them. So now we have a perfectly sized card, A2 size card right here. I'm going to open it up a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have the card, but it's still, obviously, it's we can't do that scoring on the Joy. And actually, we couldn't do this whole piece. It's too big. So what we need to do is sort of take off this, the scoring, and this whole section to the left, okay? So we need to ungroup this. And we do that by going to Actions, right down here. See, Actions. It's slightly different in the desktop app, so just so you know, but it's ungrouping. And now Benji is locked outside of the door. I closed the door. So, okay, I ungrouped this, and now I have my 3 layers. You see that? So I have this layer, this layer, this layer. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of, I just trying to move this around so you can see what I'm talking about. This layer is fine. This layer is fine, and if you go and look at the proportions on it, let's do that. Go to Edit. And you see the width is 4.06 by 5.26, like a little bit smaller than an A2 card, but that's because it's a layer underneath, okay? But these layers, this one here is still 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to insert a shape. See this? Shapes? And we're going to insert a square. So there's a square. I'm going to resize the square to be half of this piece. So what was half of this piece? It's 8 1/2 inches by width and 5 1/2 inches height, right? So we want the square to be 4.25, and I'm going to unlock here, 4.25 by a height of 5.5. All right, so here's our square, and you notice it fits like right there, which is great. See that? Also here. So I'm going to line up this square like right here, but I still need to take the scoring off. So I'm going to touch on that bottom piece, and I'm going to go to actions, and I have to detach the scoring because this technique doesn't work with multiple tasks in one layer. And multiple tasks would be like scoring, writing, other things like grouping and stuff like that. So we have to detach it. And when you detach it, you can actually take that scoring element right out, just like that. You can eliminate it if you want. Okay, so now I'm just putting my little square up against my bigger square, and then I'm going to group it all. See that? And I'm going to choose slice right here, slice. All right, now so it's sliced. So this is what happens when it's sliced. We start peeling away the layers. This is the layer we don't need anymore, and there is the layer that we wanted to keep. Okay? So that's slice. Now, it gets a little bit more complicated when you have, I'm going to do it again, Vicky, okay? So it gets a little bit more complicated when you have like writing and scoring in here. So just know that. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a shape. The shape is the square. Okay, there's our square. We're going to change the size of the square to be half of this. Okay, half of this. If you need to remember how to see what the size is, you can just go down to edit, and half widthwise is 4.25. So I need to make this one 4.25, and I'll make the height also 5.5 because that's half. All right, so here's my square, my new square that I'm going to place here. Before I can do this, though, I have to ungroup it because I have scoring and writing here. So I select this image and I choose actions right down here. I'm going to detach. Now watch what happens when I have it detached. So I have this, I have this, I have this. I want to get rid of this, okay? So I got rid of the scoring. Don't worry about this, kind of put it aside because this is the one we want to cut, right? So we're just going to line it up. See that? I lined it up so that that little box is over the actual big card. And I'm going to select those two. And now I'm going to go down here. Or if you're on the desktop app, slice is on the bottom right-hand side, okay? So you choose slice. And slice does that. It's like basically if you took all of the layers and then you just took a knife and went straight through them. That's what slice is. So here's my original box. I don't need it anymore. Here's a little bit that I didn't get, so I don't need that. And here is this. I don't need that. Oh, the only thing is I did slice it so that it has this line there. So I didn't get that part. Easy peasy. Let's do this again. Add a shape, the square. And this one, we don't have to worry too much about the size, okay? I just want to get rid of that line that didn't go away. So I'm going to do it again. Actions, slice. Now we'll take these pieces off. And now I have this, but it's not would I do this? Sometimes I would, Rosalind. Sometimes I would, and I'll tell you what that reasoning is. But let's finish up this part. So now I have this that I want to put back on here, right? So what I'm going to do is kind of line it up. Now I do have to get it in front so you can see it. So we're going to arrange. Here's a range, and we're going to send it to the front. Now it's showing in the front, but it's not exactly lined up, okay? So we're gonna just line it up like this, and that's pretty easy. You can eyeball this, okay? And now we're going to attach both of those back together. I know this is a little complicated, okay? I know it is, and it might take you a while to figure it out. And that's okay. But I want you to see how you can manipulate existing files. Now, Rosalind is asking, would I do this if I weren't working on the Joy? Well, I am specifically doing this because I want to cut it on the Joy. However, I have done this technique for working with my Explorer and my Maker because sometimes the top layer is so intricate that when it folds, especially if the top layer has like stuff really close to that fold edge, it causes problems here. So I have done this technique for last year. I did it for my New Year's card, and it does work. Right. And yes, this is a practice thing. And do not beat yourself up if you mess up. This is a new technique, and there's many steps to it. Okay. But I wanted to just kind of show you what those are. And here they are. We have, this one belongs here. So we have three layers. Okay. So we have these 3 layers. Now, not to, gild the lily or anything, but what about if you're doing it on the Joy and you want to put a sentiment inside? Okay, so here's another technique, okay? So I have up here this sentiment that I got from my Anna Griffin cards, and that's real easy to find those. Actually, no, it's not really easy to find those. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. But you're going to go to Image Sets and Image Sets. Why is it not choosing? Image Sets, come on. Here we go. And I'm going to type in Anna again. And I know that there are a lot of sentiment in the cards section. And in this one, I got the I love you from the Fantastic Flip card, but they're in a lot of those. Oh, good. I'm glad you replay. Replay is good. I thought I was going a little slow, so I'm trying to talk faster, a little bit faster. So I do hope you do replay. That's helpful. Okay, so here is the Fantastic Flip cards, and here is where you could pick up, say, I love you, or hope your day is special, wishing you happiness, all this stuff. You just grab one of those, insert it, and it will come in here. It's not attached to anything, which is fine, okay? But it does need to be sized so that it's going to fit. And we can use this piece, it's not going to be attached to it, but just to kind of give it perspective. Like, I think if I change the sizing to like that would be cool, right? But see, it's not attached, okay? So let's clean up my canvas here. I'm going to grab this stuff and hide it. First, I'm going to group it. Oops. Look what I did. I attached it. This is the difference between attaching and grouping. Turns everything the same color. Don't want that. Also, I'm just going to get rid of these things. We can hide them if you feel more comfortable with that, but I'm just going to get rid of them. Okay, so now I have 4 layers. I have my sentiment layer, I have the white layer, the pink layer, and the red layer. The red layer is going to be foil. So let's do the foil part first. I want to see what the size is. down here it shows us what the size is. It's 4.23 by 5.39. We can go a little slightly less than that. And here's our party foil. I'm going to use the holographic side. And again, this is funny to work with. It's slippery, super slippery. Okay, but when you put it, I want to make sure you can see this, all right? So I'm putting it in my trimmer. Can't really see it because the party foil is. Okay, I'm going to just use, let's see, I'm going to use this, get out of my way, chrome piece. Okay, so here's my trimmer. And I have all of the foil over here, not to your left, okay? It's on your right. And you're going to measure from right to left. Still need to go a little bit back so you can see this, all right? So what I'm going to do, and so I don't have to cut this using my dirty old mat, I'm going to cut it on my trimmer. And I'm going to set it up so it says it needs to be 4.23. So here is 4.2, just under 4.25, right? So I'm going to cut this. And now I have a very workable piece. And it's holographic on both sides. And I'm going to stick it back in the trimmer. And then the other side needs to be 5.39. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, 5, 1, 2, 2.5, about here, okay? Keep this. Here's my piece. That's my first piece, okay? Oh, good, I'm glad. Water. Okay, so that's my layer, my bottom layer. I do also need to have a base because you see, I put this on my white base, and I didn't put a sentiment, but we're going to do a sentiment, okay? So I grabbed my trusty piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, which I do get at Michael's. Best place to buy this size and these colors. All different colors are available. And what I'm going to do, put it in with the width being this way, right? We're going to put it in horizontally, okay? And we're going to cut this in half. 8.5 by 11, so half of 11 is 5.5. Party foil, go away. Okay, so here is what we get while we're here, before we even go on our machines, which is 2 equally sized pieces of cardstock that we're going to fold, and you can score it by hand, or you can use the trimmer as I've shown you before, okay? So then you create basically your card base. So I have 2 card bases from 1 sheet of cardstock. Now we can go and do the cutting on our Joy, okay? And we can even use our CardMat to do the sentiment inside. Let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna bring my Joy over so you can see it. I feel really short in this chair. I don't know why. Okay, so I am going to be cutting and writing with this. This is a cutout only. I'm actually not going to be cutting this because I already did. So I'm going to go to layers, and I'm going to, see here, this is layers. Down here is the eyeball. Just hit the eyeball and it makes it disappear. Okay, now while I'm here, I noticed I got this caution sign. Someone was asking me about this just this morning, the caution sign. The caution sign is because it's on the drawing level. It's just simply an adjustment you have to make. So you just have to click on that layer and choose, go down here to draw. See where it says draw and there's a question mark? Click on that question mark. All it wants you to do is pick a color. I don't know why that is. It's just kind of the way it is. So now we're ready. Let's get rid of layers so you can see. So now we have this layer, and this layer. So let's go ahead and make it. Oops, what happened? I'm still on my maker, okay? I still selected maker because I selected maker so I could see the designs that I wanted to work on. So I need to go back to my canvas, which I just hit canvas, and I go up to my little head avatar, and I'm changing my machine to Joy. While I'm here, I might as well check my Bluetooth under settings and make sure that my Joy is connected. It's not, so I'm going to connect it. Now it's connected. Now I can go back and I can go ahead and make these. Now I'm going to hit make it again. I'm going to choose on the mat because these are, it's saying this will not fit. Let me see. Back to our layer tab. Oh, look at that. See that? It says 4.29. We don't want that. It can't cut 4.29. It can only cut 4.25 maximum. So I had to go back to my canvas. Let's try this again. Make it. On the mat. Ha! Finally, I get this. No error messages. I have 3 mats. 1, 2, 3. One thing you want to do before you start cutting is you want to move your sentiment, okay? So you just touch on it, and you'll notice it has these 3 circles and then the kind of like a rotary thing. We're just going to touch on it and move it to sort of about here, because when we put this in the CardMat, we want it to be nicely placed on the inside, okay? But other than that, you don't really need to do anything here. All right, we're going to hit continue. All right, I want to start off on, let's start off on this white part. I have to choose a material, and I'm going to go here and choose medium cardstock, which also is cardstock that I got from Michael's, same cardstock, here it is, which I trimmed to fit on the mat, okay? I'm going to put it, actually I didn't trim it quite enough. Rita, what's going on here? I'm going to just take a little bit off so it doesn't interfere with the rollers, okay? So here's my white cardstock that I'm going to put on my mat. It's okay, by the way, if you put the material like ever so slightly over the edges, that's okay, but you want to keep it away from here. This is where the rollers pull and, you know, push and pull the mat in, so you want to try to keep that area fairly clean. Okay, so I've got my my mat. I'm here at my ready to make it. Okay, and what we want to do is want to look and see what I need. It says here I need to load the black pen first, and then we're going to need the blade afterwards. So if you're like me, you keep your blade in there, so you have to take it out. Very easy with the Joy, and you just take it out like this. Now this is different than if you were working on an Explorer or a Maker, because you would put the pen in the left-hand clamp, and you wouldn't have to worry about taking your blade out, okay? But that's just, you know, because we're working with the Joy. So I have my pen. This is a Cricut Joy pen. You need to, just as an example, this is the regular Cricut pen, and this is the Cricut Joy pen. It's like, I don't even know, like maybe a quarter of the size, smaller, a quarter, 20% smaller maybe, I don't know, and also the width is a little bit smaller. So we definitely need to use a Cricut Joy pen if we're using a Cricut Joy machine. Just take that off, unhook the little latch, take out my blade and the housing, take my pan, and I just pop it in. This is also different for Maker and Explorer. You do not have to, you know, support the bottom. You do not have to push down. You simply just put it in there and close it, okay? And then we're going to get the mat in there, And you see it's loading on my screen. And let's see. Okay, so it's ready to go. Everything's going. My machine is blinking. Let's hit go. So it's preparing and it's going to do all the drawing first. Remember, the machines always do drawing first. If there's scoring involved, like on the bigger machines, it does scoring first, then drawing, then cutting. But for the Joy, it can't do scoring, so it does drawing first and then cutting. And you will need to change out the blade. I also have this piece of pink for our next layer, but I want to prepare the card we cut with my CardMat. Okay, I did get a new CardMat mat, so that makes me very happy. Okay, so remember we cut out the card. So what we're going to do is actually open it up. We're just getting the mat ready for when we put the sentiment. So we're going to put the sentiment here, and using the CardMat, have to take off the protective cover, and then we're going to put this under the little flap, right? And press down on it. So we're just preparing this for when we get to that page, or when we get to that mat. I want to make sure I put that on real good. And by the way, you don't have to use the black pen. Cricut Joy pens come in all different colors. See that? All these different colors that they come in. But just a black pen looked good on this particular design. Okay. So we're halfway through. You might want to clean as you go. I'm looking over here and I see all this party foil, but I'm not going to make the noise of dealing with the party foil. It is slippery to work with, okay? Just have to be careful of that. And you do get a lot of product on that one roll. So, you know, put your party foil in a different place or whatever, and we'll be using it. We're going to be making some bows. We're going to be making some other stuff. And again, I didn't just use party foil. I also used this really cool premium vinyl holographic art deco. That came in the Elegant mystery box from last week. And that's what this looks like. Our party foil is going to look slightly different. It's got a really sparkly look to it. You do? You know, Emmy's saying she buys a new CardMat. I will tell you this. The CardMats do not last very long. And they can't be restocked. And I've tried to wash them. Not a good thing. Thankfully, they lowered the retail price to $5.99, making it so much more affordable. Okay, so the writing stopped. I get a message on my screen. And it says I need to load the blade back in. So I'm going to take my pen out. I'm going to find my blade somewhere around here. What did I do with it? Okay, here we go. I'm going to put it in. Don't need to do anything special. Just put it in. But then I have to hit go on this pop-up. Now it's going to, so all the writing is done. Make sure I cap my pen. And now you see the writing is all done. And it's going to start cutting that card front. And now instead of the big card, remember, so we're conceptualizing this a little different. We're just making a front of a card, and we're doing the back on our own. So let's go through this. Let's see. I'm wondering if there's anything else I could tell you about this. This technique can be done with all of the cards. Let's mess. I know. I am a messy crafter. I am also a very clumsy crafter. I mean, I'm always dropping things or things are messing up. It's okay. It's okay. It's your craft studio, okay? So unless, you know, you have a Gestapo, like, you know, if you're like, clean up this mess, you can be as messy as you want. Now, for me, my craft studio is in the front of my house, so I'm motivated every time I know people are going to come, and I will clean it up a little bit. But people are used to seeing all kinds of stuff hanging around. You know, I've got piles of made products and, you know, materials, tons of materials. And it's just naturally a mess, but I love it. You know, I love coming in here. I don't feel like I have to clean, and I can just be creative. That's the cool part about having a place of your own, which I really think is important. But if you don't have a place of your own, if you don't have like and you're crafting at your kitchen table or your, you know, whatever, your dining room table, your living room, on your bed or something like that, that's okay too, because that's what the Joy is made for, that portability. You don't have to have a permanent space for it. You can move it all around and bring it anywhere you want, right? You still have to clean up your mess, but, you know, that's up to you. All right, it's almost done cutting that first layer, which is great. And I know that, by the way, because it gives me this little circle that tells me how far along it's going. Hey, we're going to have somebody from Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Hi, I am from Massachusetts too. My craft food Joy stays closed. Oh, mine's a hot mess too. And I don't close the door, but I'll tell you something. With 2 corgis, I have to be very strategic about where I put supplies, because even though they're short, they can reach a lot of stuff. And oh man, Teddy Bear's gotten into glitter, bags of glitter, string. You want to keep them away from string, and glue. Teddy Bear chewed my glue once. All right, I'm ready. So you do have to be careful, or if you have babies. Dogs are like babies anyway. Okay, so here is our finished. Hey, we've got another Hey, all right, Massachusetts is in the house. All right, so I'm going to peel this off. Now, what you'll notice is there are a lot of cuts here, so there will be like these little itty bitty pieces here. And sometimes I just use my pick just to kind of get them out. They might not all come off. If you have a brandy new mat, then yeah, they might. But just kind of check it over. Actually, I should be doing that when I'm doing my cutting, so I'm not taking up all your time. So, okay, I'm clearing off my mat. This is what I mean about I used to have a dog, oh my God, and he would sit under my table where I work, and I would do this with the mats. So all of these little tiny pieces would come off. He didn't care. He would sleep right under my table by my feet, and when he would go to get up, he was covered in paper confetti, basically. Oh, it was so cute. I love that dog. All right, so here's the next one. That I'm going to do. Also have to pick my materials. It's medium cardstock. What happened? What happened? Oh my gosh. Let me see if it's still on the canvas. Okay. Oh my gosh. How did that happen? Oh. All right. That's okay. Relax, Rita. Okay. All right, so we're going to cut this. We're going to go to all materials, choose medium cardstock. Don't do it again. I have to put in my fine point blade. I have my pink layer on there, real good. Load it under those little guides so the rollers can take. Then I hit go. This one will cut out faster. So while we're waiting for that to cut out, let's look at what we've got so far. We have our top layer, which is all cut out. I want to make sure all the little cutouts are taken out, which it looks like it is. We have our third layer, our party foil layer. We have our CardMat ready to put the sentiment on. And now we're just doing that second layer. So let's give it a minute. Should be done soon. But yeah, so this dog would sit by my feet, and I would take all of these little scraps, right? And I would just put them on the ground. And he would get up, and he didn't even care. He'd be walking around with this little, he was a corgi too, but he'd be walking around with this confetti all over his back. So funny. What a great dog he was. Anyway, and then also I see we have somebody from Acton. So wow, Massachusetts representing today. Awesome. Not that being from any other places is not good too, but it's a little hard to find crafters in New England. We're very crafty people, but I don't know what it is. You guys down south and Midwest craft a whole lot more than, or maybe it's just Cricut crafting. I don't know. But it's hard to find people up here to kind of relate to that are from, you know. He eats them? Oh my gosh. So Shelly's saying that her Labrador eats all the little confetti pieces. I could see that happening too. Hey, it's you know, it was once a living thing. You know, it was wood at some point. So it's just, I suppose it's edible. But yeah, you want to stay away from string and stuff like that. Okay. So it's done with our middle layer. Yay! And then the only layer we have left is our CardMat layer, which I hope is going to show up because, you know, here we go. Now because we had that little mishap there, I need to go back and look at the middle layer. It's not going to let me do it. So I'm going to have to cancel out. We had that little mishap, right? So we can go back to here and move this right there. Okay? And now we're going to go to the materials section, and we can put this CardMat in there and choose medium cardstock. Even though there's no cutting, you still need to choose something, right? So we're going to put this in. Going to get our Joy pen. So there's no cutting on this layer, just the pen. And we're going to hit go. Did I hit go? There we go. And now it's just going to write our sentiment sort of, I hope, sort of in the middle there. And the sentiment we have is, I love you. And while we're waiting for that, we can just take this part off, right? Make sure we get all those little tiny bits cut. Okay. So now we're just waiting for our card base. Almost done. Do yourself a favor. Make sure you always put your housing back in your machine because you don't want to lose it. It's kind of small. And you definitely don't want a dog to find it and chew on it because they're expensive to replace. Okay, we're done with the machine. And here is our card. Take it off. There's our card base. See that? Oh, yes, Emmy. There's more to come. Thank you so much for reminding me. Okay, so the people that won last month with the infusible ink blanks, the prizes are being sent out in different packages. So you will get everything. It just will come out in different times, okay? So, all right. So here are our 3 and our layer, which has our insert and our sentiment, okay? So let's start with the front, because this is how it's going to go. We have the white on the front, we have the pink, and then we have our party foil. So let's start with the white first. We're just going to dot it with some glue. I hope this glue is working. It was working earlier today. Yep. I'm just gonna put a few dots in there. Make sure you get up in the corners and stuff. Remember, your layers are slightly smaller. Those layers are slightly smaller. So when you're putting it on, make sure you're lining up. You don't want to be able to see through the cutouts any part of the bottom layer. So see that? I just have to make a slight adjustment here to make sure I'm not seeing any white. I see a teeny tiny bit. You'll do better, of course, but that's what it's starting to look like. Then we got our party foil, and just kind of like make sure, yep. So I think I would probably put the glue actually on the party foil, simply because it's got kind of a curve to it, and I want to make sure it really adheres. I'm going to put it glue on these edges mostly. Okay. And we don't want overlap. That looks good. But if you do have overlap, you can always trim this up before you put it on your card base. Whoops. And it is party foil, so it's a different material than paper, so be aware of that. But that is what our front looks like. And now all we have to do is take our base with the sentiment and put a little bit of glue there. You can put it on the whole thing if you want. Might be better. But just remember, with party foil, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. And then we pop this on the front. Make sure it's really lined up. And again, if you had some like little leftover right here, I have a little bit, I would just trim this up. But there is our completed card using party foil. Here is the other card I did using holographic vinyl, which was adhesive backed, but this is not adhesive backed, and that is how to use party foil in a card. I know I went a little bit long today, but I hope that you've learned some really good techniques. This is fun, fun, fun. Do not be afraid. Do not think that party foil is not your friend, Michelle. It is your friend. You just need to know how to play with it. And this is really fun. And we are going to be working with party foil coming up to do those bows, but we're also going to be working with some of the vinyl, some of the paper. So I want to make really good use of all that fun stuff that people got in the mystery box, because there's a lot of fun in those boxes and you just need to know how to use them. Okay. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming today and sticking with me from start to finish on these cards. I hope you try them out. And, oh, thank you, Jamie. Thank you. She says, it's never too long. I enjoy watching you. Oh, okay. I'm glad you learn a lot. That's my intent, is that you will learn a lot with these tutorials and you would get confidence in yourself, because this machine, yeah, any of these Cricut machines, they can do a lot, but it's still a machine. You just need to know how to work it. All right. Yep. And now you can use your party foil and keep that party foil handy, close at hand, because we're going to be making those bows really soon. All right, everyone. Thank you. I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. And we're going to see you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock here on Facebook at Miss Rita to the Rescue. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Consider joining us live. We come live every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on the Miss Rita to the Rescue Facebook page, or you can catch the replay like you're doing now, or you can rewatch this even if you were here live. So I really appreciate that. So check my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook so you can get these videos. Follow the Miss Rita page. Thanks, everyone. So glad to see you. Have a wonderful day, okay? Make it a great day. Take care.